Hey, good morning everybody. So let's start with the weather today. So today is nice and sunny. It's not burning, but it's just perfect weather. And the plants are growing. The sun helps a lot with the tomatoes, with the pumpkins, with the watermelons. So everything is going well here. And today there is two things that I want to do. The first one is I want to show you what happens when you plant carrots in a soil that has not been prepared for carrots and the reasons why that happens. And the second thing is, what was it? I forgot. Thinning out the watermelons. So I'm going to remove some of these watermelons because there is 6 plants in here or 5, can't remember, and I'm going to leave only 3. So let's start with the first thing. The first topic, it's about carrots. Ooh, before we start, we'll look into some strawberries. They haven't been eaten by possums or any insects, which is great. So I'm going to be getting that soon, probably tomorrow. Hopefully nothing eat it before tomorrow. So what's happening with carrots in this part of the garden is that when I harvest them, I notice that they all have like 3 legs. So instead of being one big carrot, it's 3 legs and they are very short. So the main reason for that is because the soil is very compressed, so it hasn't been tilted or anything. So the soil is very hard. The carrots like the loose soil. So for example, on this side of the bed, most of this soil here in this part where I'm growing those carrots that you may not see but they are here, they the soil here it's being moved, so it's loose soil, which the carrots here grow much better. But here, some of like the majority of what I have harvested are very small carrots and they have like 3-4 legs growing on it, so it's not the ideal thing to have. I'm gonna harvest some of it. I'm not sure what I'm going to get when I removed it from the soil, but hopefully there is a good example and show you what happens. So look at this. This has been there for a while, but it's too small. Um, let's check the other one. Last one. So you see it's still small. So yeah, there is no any examples that I could show you of the legs that grows on the sides, but this probably has not grown because of the compressed soil. So when you grow carrots, try to lose the soil a little bit and give the soil plenty of nutrition, some compost or good fertilizer so you can grow nice strong carrots. I had some good harvest from here in, well, the last month, which I was very happy with, but the harvest here was so much better, and I am actually going to go and harvest some of it, maybe 2 or 3 carrots, because I don't have carrots. All these butterflies. So if you watched the video yesterday, I removed around, I think it was like 4 batch of eggs, like the yellow eggs that the caterpillars produce. So it was a good thing to do yesterday, because if all of those eggs sprout and all of them are born, then that's going to be a problem. Too many caterpillars trying to eat the kale. So maybe today I'm gonna have a look as well, try to get rid of those butterflies, put them out of this cage, this net, and yet try to look in the leaves if there is any more caterpillars. So let's have a look here with the carrots. What's happening here? This is like ready to harvest. So look at this beautiful big carrot. This is like perfect size compared to these ones, and I think this ones has been in the ground for a little bit longer, but these ones I just think it's the soil completely. Pretty much sure that that's the reason, so that's why I keep insisting on losing the soil before you plant some carrots. Let's have a look onto another one that I think is gonna be good. Yeah, perfect. Look at this beautiful carrot. 2 carrots. So this is usually this is quite this is funny. Has an interesting shape. So so this one, as you can tell, there is 3 legs growing on it. So that's what happens when the soil is not loose enough. And this is not a bad thing, but you would prefer to have an easy to peel carrot just like that, and not this weird monster growing in the garden. But this is great. This is great as well. This is a good carrot. I'm just not sure if some of them has got like the woody center of the carrot. So I don't know the reason for that. Sometimes I leave it too long in the ground, and that's what happens. They get woody. So that's why you have to harvest carrots as soon as possible, but making sure that the carrot has a decent size, so you are not harvesting something like this, which is too small, you know. So what I do is just grab this, put in the compost, leave it there for a year, and then the compost will be ready to be used. You can put it in the bins as well. Whenever you want to put it, it will like go down, become some rich soil. This is a little bit dry, but with a mix of maybe some worm castings, or just putting it in the soil, it has some good nutrition, I believe. Let's harvest some more carrots, because I mean, I'm enjoying this. I don't know if you are, but hopefully you are. This carrot here, I'm gonna leave it there for a little bit longer, because it's looking like it hasn't got plenty of sun, and the leaves are like all spread around, so maybe it was covered by some of the carrots. So I'm gonna leave it there for a little bit longer and see if it grows a bit more. We go on to this side and we find some other good carrots. Look at that beautiful carrot. I put this in here. It will decompose eventually. One thing that I like to do while I am harvesting carrots is to go into the soil, and you will see what I do. Go with my finger, look around, and check on the growth of the carrot, like the thickness of it. So as you can see a carrot there. And what I'm gonna do is pull it a little bit so I can sense how big the carrot is. So with this one, I can already tell that it's gonna be a little bit smaller than the other ones that I have been harvesting, but maybe not, but let's see. So yeah, a little bit smaller, and I can tell just by like moving it a little bit and calculating the weight and how much you have to pull with your hands to get this carrot out. So if you think they are still small and you're pulling and you feel, oh, okay, it's still small, just leave it there, cover it with a little bit more soil, and they will be fine. And then, you know, come back in like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they probably will be ready. carrot ready to go. Let's have a look onto this one. Yeah, this one too small. I don't know. Can you see it there? Yep. Yeah, too small. So as you can see, when I go and do this, it's like so easy to move, so easy to shake. This one, for example, I can already, that one there. So let's have a look if I pull there. There. So just, I noticed that the carrot is pretty thick. I think it's a split for what I can touch here. So some of them are splitting. I think it's sometimes too much water, or sometimes it's like not so much water, and then the water comes and then they just grow a lot. So, and I can tell that it's hard to pull. I don't know if you can see, but it's different to this one. This one you can move like all the soil around. With this one, it's like it's stuck there, and you can see the soil moving around the zone where this carrot is growing. So as you can see, look at this, pretty big. The only problem is that it's a split and maybe it's a little bit woody. Usually when this happens, it gets woody on the inside for some reason. So, but it's a good carrot. I just peel it, remove this part that is open, and just leave, just like use this, and then the rest of the carrot, use this part of the carrot. Same, just remove the leaves. So it's quite easy. Once you get the soil ready to plant carrots, they will grow by themselves. You don't have to take care of it too much. Just harvest eventually, and of course watering. So look at that great harvest. I don't have to buy carrots for the next 2 weeks maybe. They're quite expensive recently. And I got something for you for the next video, and that's onions. Onions here are looking amazing. So look at the thickness of that onion. It's pretty nice. It's pretty much ready to harvest. They say when the top leaves, so these, start dropping, it's the time to harvest. Usually you can harvest before, but it's better to let the leaves, the top leaves falling to fall, and then you harvest. So as you can tell, like for example, this one here, the leaves are falling, but the onion is like, look, it was not connected to the soil that well, and it was kind of dying. I can replant this, and I think it will grow a little bit more. So let's experiment with this and plant it again and see what happens, because it looked like the roots were not touching the soil enough for the carrot to grow, for the onion to grow properly. So let's just come here. Plant it a little bit deeper, and hopefully it grows more. So yeah, tomorrow I'll be harvesting some of these onions, or for the next video that you watch, some of these onions, and I may talk a little bit of how to grow some onions, the same as I just did with the carrots and everything else. So stay tuned with the onions. So I went myself, well, it was too long about the explanation for the carrots, but I think it's a good topic, because carrots is one of the favorite vegetables to use in the kitchen, and probably it's, you know, one of the ones that people grow more in the garden. So it was great that I gave all that information to you. And the second thing that I said that I was going to do today is thinning out the watermelons. So I feel sad thinning out plants, because it's like you are killing them. But in this case, I only need three plants here because these ones grow pretty long, same as the pumpkins. They probably go up to this part here, and you know, probably even longer. And then the watermelons just come out like the same as the pumpkins. So what I'm gonna do is remove the ones that I planted from pots, because I don't know if you can tell, the thickness of the stem of those two that you see here, they are different. So this one was planted from a pot and moved into the soil, and this one was planted straight into the ground. So have a look onto the thickness of the stem. Look at the difference. This one looks stronger and this one looks thin, and this one was planted straight into the ground as a seed, and this one was grown on a pot first and then moved into the ground. So this one, I'm just gonna remove it. I know it's a little bit sad, but it's for the benefit of the plant growing there. And I'm gonna do the same for the ones here. So this one was planted straight from the pot. So was started in a pot and then moved on to the soil. This one was planted straight into the ground, but it was growing pretty good, pretty nice. And then these two were planted straight into the ground. So look at them, they're looking nice and strong. So I'm gonna leave them there and hopefully get some watermelons soon. This one was started in a pot and moved into the soil, but this was the only exception of what, like, it was the only one that survived out of like 3 of them that I planted. So this one is looking good, like it's growing well. So I'm going to leave that one there, and this one, yeah, looks pretty good. But that was just me being lucky that this plant grew instead of dying like the rest of them. So that's it for today. If you want to stay, I'm gonna just go around, and come with me if you want to have a look what's happening around in the garden, because I need to check for things, mostly this part here, because this part here is not there is no irrigation system, so I need to keep checking on what's happening. Like for example here, I don't know if this is this is just like something broken, maybe a possum, maybe a rat, I don't know. I noticed that the beans are drying out, so I need to harvest some of these beans, just like this. And we got some beans inside. So tomorrow I'll be doing this as well. So tomorrow I'm going to do the harvesting of the onions and harvesting some of these beans. So I'm not sure what's happening with the beans. Maybe they are they are together, like they're too crowded. So you know, this is my first year growing so many beans, so it's a lesson. Every year is something new to learn, and I just enjoy watching what happens, and I don't care if I make a mistake, because I know for the next year I will like change my approach, and I'm sure everything will be better. I'm really glad to see this pumpkin plant growing. There is some male flowers. You can tell they are male. I'll show you properly, because they don't have any little bulb growing on the bottom of it. This is just like a stem, a long stem, and then the flower. When you start seeing like a bulb and then a flower, like I got the perfect sample here. If you start seeing, can you see it? Oh yeah. If you start seeing that, that's a pumpkin. That's a female flower. So what you have to do with those, I'm gonna explain that in another video. So what you have to do is use the male flower and pollinate that female flower here when it grows. So the bees, that's the job of the bees, but sometimes that don't work because sometimes the bees are busy with something else, or something happens and then it just don't get pollinated. And that was the first mistake that I made 2 years ago. Some of the pumpkins didn't grow, and I was like asking myself why this is not growing, why they are dying. Went on the web, and then I found out that they need to be pollinated. So I started pollinated by hand as soon as I saw them opening up, when I saw the flower opening up, and from there everything was growing now. So plenty of pumpkins. Last year I got 25, 26 pumpkins harvested, and I still have some of them after like 9, 10 months of just sitting in there. They need a lot of air so they don't get moldy. So once in a while I come and check if they are okay, and they look perfect. And when I open them, they are like nice orange color. So and they taste like perfect, perfect. No problems with it, no rotten. As long as you don't see anything rotting on the surface, usually the inside of the pumpkin is fine. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I think it was very good information. It's things that I have learned throughout the years, and I think it's important to have that in mind, all the things that I mentioned. And I'll see you in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.